So I don't know what that was. All right. So this is what editing is for.
Yes.
Jeez. Okay. I have. So here. Okay. I don't know why. Here, I'm gonna stop Spotify. Do that. Should probably just download the music. That would make it so much easier. All right.
Probably,
Okay. Let's mute. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Teens Talk Movies. I am here, as always. My name being Trevor Matson. And, wait, did you guys get the audio? Or do I have to do that again? Fun. This is going perfect. Take 3. I'm crushing this. Should totally keep doing early morning shows. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the show, Teens Talk Movies, episode 23. We've done a lot of these. Not all with Thomas, not all with Atticus, but guess what? We got both of them here with us today for the first time in, like, I don't know, probably years. Guys, how are you doing? Crap, no, I'm not even editing. I'm leaving all of the takes in. This is our third try of trying to get the show started.
Wow, that's embarrassing.
It's all staying in.
Embarrassing.
Treat to the rest of you guys. I'm fine with it, and you guys don't get a say. So,
dang.
brutal. As you heard, we have Atticus back on the show. Insert applause noise, because nobody is clapping for you.
Right, dang. What a welcome back.
No what applause. A welcome back. And then we also have Thomas, who is in England and is the only one awake.
Yes, which is very true. But yeah, should be a good show today. Lots to talk about indeed.
Absolutely. Got plenty to talk about. Not so much on the news side, but plenty of trailers. And some that I'm very excited about. Very, very exciting. So do you guys want to get started with the first topic of today's show?
Yes.
For sure. Yeah.
All right. Topic number 1. So the Golden Globes are canceled. They are not a thing anymore. At least for the time being. NBC went no. And they're just not a thing. So it was because over the course of the Golden Globes, they've still neglected to have a person of color in their voting ranks, which is kind of just disappointing. That like out of all 93 members over the history of the Golden Globes, didn't have one.
Wow,
not a good look. So they said they're working on it. Still haven't instated a person of color. So NBC went nope. And like Mark Ruffalo, Scarlett Johansson, Tom Cruise, they all returned their Golden Globes.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. So this is what are your guys' thoughts on this? Because I think that this needed to happen at least just to give them kind of the kick in the butt to actually go through, like have a consequence.
Right.
But
Yeah.
Atticus, what are your thoughts?
I can agree with that. I think it's like it's sad that person of color hasn't had a chance, and yeah, I don't know. It's nice to just hopefully that they'll get their act together, you know.
Yeah, Thomas, your thoughts?
Yeah, and I mean, even if they don't, not too bothered by it. It's not the big one. It's not the important one. It's sort of it's the one at the beginning to sort of kick off award season, but it's not really necessary in the grand scheme of things. It's the Oscars that's the big one, and yeah. So if they don't get their act together, not a big loss.
Right.
Mhm.
If they just fade away into obscurity because they don't do what they should have been doing for the past 30 years,
Right.
I'm not going to be too upset. The Golden Globes are weird anyways. I mean, they gave a freaking Golden Globe to they gave it to Vanessa Kirby, or not Vanessa Kirby, Rosamund Pike for I Care a Lot. They gave, I can never remember her name, from United States for Billie Holiday. Golden Globes were all over the place this year. They were pretty crazy. So yeah, I mean, the Golden Globes were only important because they had a TV deal. That was literally the only reason they were seen as like more important than like something like the Critics' Choice or the SAG Awards or the DGAs, the PGAs, the Writers Guild Awards, the BAFTA Awards. The only reason they were seen as like the number 2 to the Oscars is because they have a TV deal. They don't have that anymore. I would love to see either the Critics' Choice or the BAFTAs pick up this deal into place. I think that would be great to see. But yeah, no, I'd be very much looking forward to seeing some Critics' Choice, because the Critics' Choice Awards are usually pretty fun. I think they're on, like, at least in the US, like TNT or something like that, or like the Sci-Fi Network, something weird. So I'd love to see them get put more in the spotlight, or the BAFTAs, because like the BAFTAs are pretty important, and just aren't seen at all in the US.
Yeah.
So, but let's now talk about, we got some Emily Blunt news. Of course, she has A Quiet Place Part 2 coming out in 2 weeks, which we will be reviewing.
I'm going to be seeing that in theaters. I cannot wait.
Yeah. I'm going to watch the first one before it.
You haven't seen the first one yet?
No.
Oh, yes. You should definitely watch it. It's very, very good.
I plan on it. But Emily Blunt shoots down Fantastic Four rumors, saying she feels that the superhero genre is exhausted at this point. That she would not play it as superhero, but it would need to be the right, like a really good script. No, this could all just be misdirection, because we know that she was supposed to play Black Widow before scheduling conflicts happened, and then she wasn't able to, and that's how we got Scarlett Johansson. So I still, my dream casting is still John Krasinski and Emily Blunt as Reed and Sue, Zac Efron as Human Torch, Michael Chiklis coming back as the Thing. Then you do Javier Bardem as Doctor Doom and Zachary Quinto as Namor.
Ooh.
That's been my fan casting for like 4 or 5 years. I still want that to happen.
Yes.
But what are your guys' thoughts on Emily Blunt's comments?
Yeah, I mean, again, not too bothered by this, since we haven't even she wasn't confirmed that she was in it. It's not like she's confirmed and then she pulls out. It's casting rumors again, and sometimes they lead to stuff, oftentimes they're just rumors. And this feels like one which may just be a rumor that circulated and not actually come to fruition. Or, as you say, it could be double bluff. You know, Marvel likes to hide their big secrets, so this could be something that could be misdirection, as you say.
Absolutely. Atticus, what are your thoughts?
See, I've never been super into like the Fantastic Four, and like Thomas said, I'm not super bothered by it. But I mean, I think she'd be really cool, and she'd definitely be a really cool superhero, honestly. And it's cool that she was almost Black Widow. I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, she did kind of play superhero in Edge of Tomorrow, which we'll get to.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean, she's not wrong in saying the superhero genre is exhausted, if we're being completely honest.
Yeah.
It is. So, But John Watts, who is directing the upcoming Fantastic Four, he of course did the 2 Tom Holland Spider-Man films, which are both in my top 10 MCU. So I have a lot of faith in him to put together a great Fantastic Four script. And honestly, just remake The Incredibles in live action, and you have a great Fantastic Four film. So, but it's so weird. Like even their powers are like flipped, like kind of. Yeah. But speaking of Edge of Tomorrow too, Doug Liman, the director of Edge of Tomorrow, says that Edge of Tomorrow will happen if Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt want to come back. He says that he has script ready. Its title is Live, Die, Repeat, and Repeat, which is kind of incredibly stupid.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a great title for a movie.
Yeah. But would you guys like to see Edge of Tomorrow too? Because I'm not calling it that other name.
My brother definitely wants it to happen because he just watched Edge of Tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. I forgot the ending already. I knew it was like it could be left up to interpretation. Could there be a second one?
Okay, spoilers for the ending of Edge of Tomorrow, because I just watched the movie yesterday. Tom Cruise comes back. They do the thing. They beat the thing, and then everybody's happy.
They do the thing
super easy, and then he goes back to it loops time again, and then he goes back to see Emily Blunt, and then she doesn't remember him again because it's the restart.
Oh, right.
Because they destroyed like the mother alien thing in the future, so then when they went in the past, then it didn't exist anymore.
Because that's
which kind of doesn't make continuity wise, but
that's how time works.
Right? Yeah. They took lessons from Christopher Nolan. So, but yeah, I mean, I really enjoyed the film. I thought that it was a lot of fun. I don't need a sequel, but I absolutely wouldn't mind it if it happened.
That's how I feel too.
So, because Tom Cruise and Emily Blunt had great chemistry in the film, and it was just, it's just a fun movie. So if they can at least just replicate that, it's not something that we need, but it would be something I'd be looking forward to. But Thomas, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, this is one that, again, as you say, we don't really need a sequel to it. But as we said, a sequel would be fun. I mean, it's all right for what it is as one of those action sci-fi films. I'm definitely not clamoring for a sequel, but if we get it, I'm sure it'll be fun like the first one. And yeah, I'll definitely watch it. But yeah, again, not something we really need.
Yeah, I mean, it's a fun concept that I think there's a lot more to explore with it. And Doug Liman needs a good movie because Chaos Walking was garbage. So, movie is a big yikes. But Margot Robbie, you guys heard of her? Maybe.
No.
She wants to make a Harley Quinn in Poison Ivy movie. She wants to bring the character Poison Ivy to the big screen.
Have we seen Poison Ivy in live action before? Has anybody played her? I'm trying to think.
I want to say in Batman and Robin.
Yeah. I think
I haven't seen that movie. So I don't know.
Good. Yeah, no, it's Uma Thurman plays her, which is nuts.
Yeah.
But would you guys like to see a Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn movie?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, Margot Robbie's a great Harley Quinn. She hasn't been in the best of films, but she's definitely.
I liked Birds of Prey.
Yeah, I thought it was okay. I mean, but yeah, she's a good Harley Quinn. So more Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, the better, I'd say. And yeah, if this is something what she wants to do, she's passing it about. I'm sure it has potential to get made, and yeah, definitely could be made and could be fun.
Absolutely. Atticus, any thoughts from you?
Yeah, I agree that Margot Robbie is a great Harley Quinn, and I think that it would be an interesting movie and definitely a fun movie if they actually did, make one. Just trying to think of who would be Poison Ivy, like who would be a good Poison Ivy.
So my thought was Allison Williams from Get Out.
Huh.
That's my personal pick on who I would like to see. Either that or Olivia Wilde. Those are just my two, throwing them out. My number one is Allison Williams. Olivia Cook from Sound of Metal could also be really good.
Yeah.
I'd like to hear, but
good suggestions.
But yeah, my pick would be Allison Williams. I'm curious to see what are you guys? Do you guys have any picks?
Oh God, I'm very bad at choosing casts on the spot. Nah.
Yeah,
Uma Thurman just come back and reprise her role.
Uma Thurman reprises her role. See, my brain instantly goes to people with like red hair, but like I don't think that's a good way to go.
Yeah, my mind just goes like Sophie Turner and stuff like that.
Yeah, Amy Adams, stuff like that.
Actually, Amy Adams would be a bonkers movie that would be terrible, but I would watch it.
Yeah,
I would watch it too.
Just imagine Amy Adams and Margot Robbie acting off of each other.
Oh, yeah.
It has to be somebody that's like equally, I don't know, as
like a type of character actor.
Right.
I like Sophie Turner. I think that could work. Like I wouldn't mind seeing Sophie Turner in this role. Yeah, I like that could be a lot of fun. There's a lot of fun ways to do with this. I'll be really happy if it's Allison Williams, because she pulled off the Get Out role really well of being both like nice and charming while also, spoilers, being like a sinister type character.
Yes.
So I really enjoyed that balance, and I think that's kind of what the character of Poison Ivy needs. So moving on though, Peacemaker, John Cena is going to be in it. James Gunn's making it. Season 2 is already in development. We haven't even seen season 1. I hate when they do this.
Yeah,
they're doing it with Loki. They're already making the season 2. Wait for us to see the season 1.
They're making a season 2 of Loki.
Yeah, they already announced they were getting the season 2 of Loki.
Whoa. Wow.
So
see, I don't mind, but like, wow.
Yeah. So, what are your guys' thoughts? Are you guys excited for the Peacemaker show? And do you want a season 2? Because season 1 isn't even going to come out until January of 2022.
See, I'm not even familiar with the characters, so I mean, I guess I can be kind of pumped about it. Can't really.
Yeah, I mean, you've got, on the one hand, you've got James Gunn, but on the other hand, you've got John Cena. So it's sort of a balance that they're trying to go for there.
Okay.
So
he looked good in the trailer though for the Suicide Squad, because this is a spin-off of the Suicide Squad. John Cena didn't look, contrary to everything else he's done in his acting career, he didn't look bad.
Yeah, I mean, but again, that's off one trailer, and we're already getting 2 TV shows about this. I don't know. I think we may need to be a little cautious as to this news.
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah,
I agree.
No, like I said, I hate when they do this. I'm just saying, maybe this was the role John Cena was made for.
Maybe.
Moving on with TV news, Miss Marvel has officially wrapped shooting. We could see the show this year, guys. I mean, it's done shooting. We could see this in December. I'm hyped for the show. We just got set images of the costume last week. I'm so hyped for this show. The comic run, if you guys have not read it, is absolutely phenomenal. So I'm very excited for this. And like, think about the lineup that we could have. So like, for films this year for Marvel, we already have Black Widow, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man No Way Home this year. For shows, we've already had WandaVision. We had Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We had we're going to have Loki. We're going to have the What If show. We're going to have Hawkeye. If we have Miss Marvel this year, that's 6 Marvel shows in a year, plus 4 movies. Plus, we're getting Venom, Let There Be Carnage, which could be connected. We don't know yet.
Mm-hmm.
And Morbius, I believe, is next year. But lots and lots of Marvel.
Yeah.
Would you guys like to see it this year, or would that feel too crowded for you?
I mean, personally, no, I don't think it'd be too crowded. But yeah, I'm just super excited for it. I'm super excited.
Yeah,
Thomas?
I mean, I agree. The sooner we get this, the better. I mean, we've seen Marvel. It's been getting more and more crowded recently, but it hasn't felt to. I'm not exhausted of Marvel content yet, so I don't feel I'll ever be. And so yeah, the closer the better.
Absolutely. And this also, I would be totally fine with getting 6 shows in 1 year and 4 movies because, like, we didn't get anything last year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I was talking with Thomas before the show, Atticus. In July, it will have been 2 years since we've had a Marvel movie.
Wow.
From No Way Home, which is insane.
Wow.
Or sorry, from Far From Home. That's going to get really confusing really fast. I just realized that's. But yeah, like I remember going to see Far From Home in theaters, and that's the last time I watched a Marvel movie. Obviously not a Marvel. I've watched a Marvel movie since, but like since we had a new Marvel movie that I went and saw in theaters, it's been a while. I'm so hyped for Black Widow though. Just to get new Marvel. Speaking of Disney though, and speaking of some Marvel stuff still, Disney is being smart because they're taking the streaming versus theater situation case by case instead of doing what Warner Brothers did just at the beginning of the year, saying everything's on HBO Max and then making all of their filmmakers mad. Because now it looks like everybody's, hopefully going to be able to be vaccinated and will be able to be back in theaters. And they've already committed to releasing everything on HBO Max, which is a lot of loss of money, and their movie makers are not happy. But Jungle Cruise, starring, once again, Emily Blunt and Dwayne Johnson, is going to be on premium VOD on Disney Plus alongside theatrical release. So that is doing the Raya and the Last Dragon route. But Free Guy, the Ryan Reynolds film, as well as Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings, will be released exclusively in theaters.
Wow.
So what are your guys' thoughts on Jungle Cruise being moved to premium VOD and Free Guy and Shang-Chi going theatrical only?
I mean, not too bothered by it. I'll probably see them in cinemas, theaters anyway. So this being premium VOD doesn't really affect me, but I think it's interesting that we're getting some films that are, some films that aren't, and it's probably a testament to those kind of films. So Jungle Cruise probably isn't that necessary to see that one in cinemas. There's probably, you can see it at home and just get the same effect. Whereas maybe something like Shang-Chi, you would want to see that in cinemas. So I think it's interesting that they're doing it case-to-case basis, but always will prefer to watch it in cinemas.
Absolutely. Atticus, your thoughts?
It's kind of the same. I'll probably see all three of these in theaters since I have I have vaccine, and I think that Free Guy and Shang-Chi are definitely going to be like those movies that you need to see in theaters to get like the full experience. Jungle Cruise, like what Thomas said, I could just see it at home on Disney Plus, and it'll be the same thing. But yeah.
So, what's interesting with this though is that it's not like Jungle Cruise is a small movie. Like it's their successor to like Pirates of the Caribbean as far as like a theme park based film.
And Haunted Mansion. Don't forget Haunted Mansion.
I would like to. But like this cast, between Dwayne Johnson and Emily Blunt, like just Dwayne Johnson alone, I don't know. To me, this kind of leads to believe that they aren't as confident in the film.
Yeah.
Just personally, which does make me a bit nervous for it.
Yeah.
Because it's being released right around the same time as Shang-Chi. So, they're both massive budget films. So yeah, this makes me a little nervous for Jungle Cruise, but I like you guys. I always prefer to watch them in theater. This next story, I am incredibly excited about. So Joel Coen of the Coen Brothers, The Big Lebowski, Fargo, Ballad of Buster Scruggs, most recently. They will. So Joel Coen, no Ethan Coen in this one. He's going to direct Denzel Washington and Frances McDormand. So here's my level of excitement, right? Audio listeners obviously won't be able to see this, but like Denzel Washington, up. Frances McDormand, up. In A24, up. Tragedy of Macbeth, up. Released this year.
It's not even on camera.
I went above camera. It's
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Like Denzel Washington, 2-time Oscar-winning actor. Frances McDormand, 3-time Oscar-winning actress. A24, probably the best production company in the world right now.
Agreed.
And Shakespeare.
Besides Blumhouse.
A24 is better.
Says you.
But like, this is a legitimate like best picture contender. I mean, they had Minari last year, which honestly should have. I mean, I'm happy. I'm so happy that it got supporting actress. It deserved so much more at the Oscars. Minari really is incredible. Atticus, have you gotten the chance to see it yet?
No, not yet.
Okay,
I know that one too.
Very highly suggest Minari. It's such a good movie. So yeah, they just had so far this year. They had Saint Maud. They have The Green Knight coming out this summer, which we'll be talking about later. But yeah, like just the names Joel Coen, Denzel Washington, and Frances McDormand basically equal Oscars. So what are your guys' anticipation levels of this film, and are they as high as mine?
Not as high as yours, but
fair.
I think that it could be a pretty good movie. Yeah, I would like to see it.
Yeah, and I think the fact that Joel Coen's directing this is very interesting, because I mean the Coen brothers' style of filmmaking isn't something you would necessarily associate with a Shakespeare story, but I mean it could work and it could definitely be quite fun. And I mean this is another role for Frances McDormand that feels quite Oscar-y, her playing Lady Macbeth, and Denzel Washington's actually, so we could see yet another nomination for her for this film. I mean, I'm sure she'll be good. So, and yeah, definitely looking forward to it. Definitely think A24 as well. Big fan of a lot of their films. So yeah, I'm very anticipated for this one.
Do we think Frances McDormand can repeat? Can she pull off a repeat win?
I mean, I think there's definitely a chance.
Yeah. I mean, that would be her 4th win. That ties her with Katharine Hepburn for most wins by an actor all time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Actor or actress. Like, she quietly is passing Meryl Streep, approaching GOAT territory. Yeah. I mean, if you look at like her 3 best actress wins, Fargo, which was with the Coen brothers.
Yeah.
And then 3 Billboards Outside Ebbing, Missouri, and Nomadland. All 3 incredible films. I mean, one with the Coen brothers. And also, Atticus, I'll hear your thoughts after this, but here's a list of Oscar nominations and wins from Joel Coen. 4 Best Picture nominees with 1 win, 3 Best Director nominees with 1 win, 3 Best Original Screenplay nominees with 1 win, 4 Best Adapted Screenplay nominees with 1 win, and 2 Best Editing nominations.
Wow.
That's all just from like he is Oscars. Frances McDormand is Oscars. Denzel Washington, except when he does the little things, is Oscars. So I could not have been happier that Jared Leto didn't get nominated, because I don't understand why that was even a thing. Like again, the Golden Globes nominated Jared Leto. Why? But Atticus, what are your thoughts on the Tragedy of Macbeth?
Yeah, I think it'll be a good movie. I definitely will want to see it. Definitely hyped for it. Maybe not as much as you, but yeah, definitely hyped for it.
I mean, I'm so like A24 makes me just so happy. I love A24 films. They're so like, I mean, Lady Bird is like probably in my top 5 movies of all time. It's so good. It's on Netflix if you guys haven't seen it. I mean, Minari was great. Ex Machina. They've done a couple horror films that I haven't seen that I've heard are great. Midsommar and Hereditary. Like, there's
brilliant.
Like A24 is just stacked. I mean, Minari last year, like they're a really incredible production studio across the board. So yeah, I'm so hyped for this. But Moving on to something that I'm a lot less excited for. Snake Eyes, G.I. Joe Origins.
Yes.
Got a poster and images released. Why? Atticus, I'll go to you first on this one.
I think this is going to be a really cool. At least I hope it's going to be a really cool movie. The other G.I. Joe movies were entertaining and fun, but I feel like Snake Eyes is going to be kind of cool.
I would call them medium entertaining and not fun, but I'm happy that you like them.
Medium entertaining and not fun.
Yeah, no. The previous G.I. Joe films, the second one I have listed in my worst 5 films of all time.
Wow.
It's right down there with the Emoji Movie. For me, I really hated that movie. And like Red Sonja, all those movies are like down in the basement, the opposite of Tragedy of MacBeth.
Right.
So yeah, I mean the trailer looks like fine. It kind of looks like really bad CG. I can, if you guys just look up Snake Eyes G.I. Joe Origins, just on the Wikipedia, it should have the poster. And like, I don't know, I'm not too familiar with Henry Golding, who is going to play the lead. I don't really have any interest in this film.
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, I didn't even know this film existed, so that was my anticipation level for it. But and I didn't know it starred Henry Golding. He's pretty good in most of the stuff I've seen him in.
Yeah, Crazy Rich Asian Gentleman. Sorry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and Last Christmas, obviously, brilliant film, that one. So
Atticus gave a yikes on that one.
yeah, and I agree. This poster gives us not
looks
the
really cool.
greatest of vibes here. Yeah, not too sure about this project.
Yeah, we will be watching it for a review. I mean, it's
right.
It's
Do we have to?
See, yeah, I don't have to be made to watch it. I'll watch it anyways.
Yeah, no, Atticus, this definitely feels like a you project.
Yeah. It can just be me. It's just gonna be a segment of me just ranting about how good it is.
G.I. Joe should win Best Picture because that'll get the clicks.
Just need to. Yeah.
No, I mean I'll watch this. I'm gonna try and keep an open mind because just because the past 2 films in the series were bad doesn't mean the last one can't be good. When has that ever happened? Probably never. But so, legitimately, I mean, has that ever happened? Oh, I know. Indiana Jones: Last Crusade is the best one. So.
Oh yes.
I know Thomas is a Raiders of the Lost Ark stan.
Yeah.
But
Last Crusade is my favorite as well.
Yeah. But that's not completely fair because Raiders of the Lost Ark is still a great film. Temple of Doom is not, but
That's not a great film. Wait, okay, hold on. It definitely isn't the best, but it's still a great movie. I love it.
I guess we did a whole podcast episode on this. It's like it is.
See, we were split because you didn't like it and I did.
Because it's the definition of 80s bad.
Yeah, I prefer Kingdom of Crystal Skull to Temple of Doom. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah. Wow, that's okay.
Shots fired.
Yeah.
I wouldn't go that far. That's brutal.
Because I don't think it's a bad film, Kingdom of Crystal Skull. In fairness,
that's like saying that's like taking something that's okay, like horses, and then saying that you'd rather eat poop than ride a horse. That's brutal.
Dang.
That's just offensive to horses.
Yeah. Not to agree with that.
But anyways, Thomas's bad takes aside, and you know, Thomas, how I can get Atticus to hate you?
Are you going to talk about Spider-Verse?
Thomas thinks Spider-Verse is an okay film.
Yeah.
Wow.
Atticus is surprised Pikachu face right now.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyways, let's just move on. On.
We've had this discussion.
We've had this discussion plenty of times. I just had to make Atticus feel my pain.
Yep.
Because it is, in my opinion, the greatest film of all time. But
greatest film of all time, maybe not, but it is definitely a 10 out of 10.
It's my number one.
Right.
My five is Spider-Verse, It's a Wonderful Life, Knives Out, Lady Bird, and Grand Budapest Hotel. Those are my 5 favorites of all time.
All right.
2 of those movies Thomas doesn't like, but you know, some people just have better film taste than others. So next story. And just kidding, kind of. So Sonic the Hedgehog 2 has officially wrapped filming. I mean, we're getting this movie soon. I didn't mind the first one. It wasn't good, but it also wasn't bad. So
I thought it was bad. I didn't like it.
It was fun enough. I mean, Jim Carrey was great as a mustache twirling villain.
Yeah,
like Jim Carrey was built for that role. To do that type of just goofy, like it wasn't trying to be like a great film. I don't think. I just think it was trying to be like fun, which I think it accomplished. Like I think it sits at like a 5.5 out of 10 for me. And there was a cool setup at the end that I didn't get because I didn't play the video games, but I can appreciate having a vision for something.
Was it Tails? Isn't that the ending? Yeah.
I can appreciate the director having a love for like a franchise and in making, having the vision for a franchise. So I am not incredibly excited for this, but I think it will be fun. As long as they can capture the same thing they did in the first film. But Thomas, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, see, for me, the whole gimmick of having Jim Carrey as a mustache twirling, like very generic villain like that, it works for a film. If you're gonna do it again, is he in the second one? Do we know?
I am not sure because that's a fair point. If they're gonna do that again, then it would.
I don't think we need that again. But yeah, as you say, it's a fun film, the first one. Do I really need a second one now? Not really, no.
Oh, yikes, he's in it. He's back.
Yeah. Okay.
Dang.
Yeah, James Marsden's back. Tika Sumpter's back. Ben Schwartz is back. Yeah. I was hoping that they... So I wanted them to capture the same feeling of the first one without just being the first one. Because it's kind of like, I hope this movie isn't just Sonic the Hedgehog again, but this time there's Tails.
See, that wouldn't work well at all.
Yeah, so I don't know. Atticus, what are your thoughts on this?
I don't know. I might not even see it. It depends.
I mean,
if the trailer's okay. Oh, well, yeah, but like if the trailer is good, then yeah, I'll definitely see it. But like, even if it's for the show, then no, I won't see it.
Wow. Hey, part of reviews is watching bad movies sometimes.
It's true. So I guess I have to watch it.
So it comes out April 8th, 2022. So in a little less than a year. About 11 months from now. Yeah. Don't need it, but it could be fun. Now, I mentioned Knives Out as being one of my top 5 favorite films of all time. Knives Out 2, we know, is coming to Netflix. Daniel Craig is returning. And look at this freaking cast. Dave Bautista. Edward Norton. Catherine Hahn. Janelle Monáe. So for people who are unfamiliar with these people, Dave Bautista, Drax in Guardians of the Galaxy. Edward Norton, a lot of things, but like American History X, I believe he was in Spotlight. So those are 2 things that he did. Catherine Hahn, of course, Agnes in WandaVision, which I can't wait for Rian Johnson to direct Catherine Hahn. Yes. And then Janelle Monáe of Moonlight and Hidden Figures.
Janelle Monáe, oh my gosh, you need to. I listen to her music on repeat. It's amazing. But yeah, as an actress, I bet she's pretty good.
Yeah, I am so excited. I'm so excited for this movie. Like this cast looks incredible. Like all of them. Yeah, like this cast makes it like this is already one of my most anticipated films of like the coming few years. This cast like really shoots it up. But Thomas, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean the only one here I would be slightly cautious about is Dave Bautista, but after hearing all the reviews of Army of the Dead saying that he is a pretty decent dramatic actor, he's not really one I'm cautious about anymore. So, yeah, that cast list is very good. Definitely Edward Norton, love him as an actor. Catherine Hahn, we saw her great in WandaVision. And as you say, Janelle Monáe, great actor in all the things I've seen her in so far. So, yeah. And again, it's Knives Out, and it's Rian Johnson. So if they capture the same sort of feel as the last one with a different mystery, I'm sure it'll be a brilliant film no matter what.
Yes.
Absolutely. I also like that this is going to Netflix because it does give him a bit more creative freedom just to kind of do what he wants.
Yeah.
Which is exciting. And yeah, and also like Dave Bautista, sure, Knives Out is a bit of dramatic stuff. But like I'd love to see him as just like for dramatic stuff, just being like kind of just like a gruff guy that just is like doesn't say anything. And then just have like the occasional one-liner that's like really really funny because like he's great in Stuber, which is another comedic role. So yeah, he's definitely proven himself in comedic stuff. And yeah, so speaking of Army of the Dead, we will be reviewing it next week alongside Those Who Wish Me Dead, 2 Dead movies. So and then also we'll be watching The Bad Batch, which is also at this point just probably should be dead. So but yeah,
like it?
Definitely no, not at all. Thomas and I are both not fans at all.
Really?
Yeah,
I think it's pretty good. I like it a lot, actually. Wait, why don't you guys like it?
The screenplay is terrible.
Characters
Character
are
animation,
terrible.
Character animation is really really bad. A lot of the background stuff is good, but the character animation feels like very like it was made on like the first Microsoft computer in 1990. Like it looks really terrible.
I don't recognize the difference between this and there's definitely a difference, but like there's not that much of a difference between this season or Bad Batch and season 7 of Clone Wars.
Season 7 of Clone Wars just felt a lot more sleek to me. This just feels very janky. And also, I mean, it's been 3 episodes. I do think that we'll get more into Bad Batch later. I do think that episode 3 was probably the best so far because it actually did something for the story. But the first 2 didn't accomplish anything, really. For the story, there was no character development. There was no, like, from the end of episode 1 to the end of episode 2, literally nothing changed. So it's felt pretty weak so far, but for any Star Wars animated show, the first season is usually pretty awful. If you're Resistance, you never recover. But Clone Wars and Rebels definitely recovered. And like it has all the traits like Clone Wars and Rebels season 1 had really annoying child characters, Ahsoka Tano and Ezra, which were very annoying in season 1. But then they figured out the characters in later seasons. This is Omega. Omega, very, very annoying right now. But they've shown that they can figure out child characters. So
okay,
they've done it with Ahsoka, but yeah, the screenplay just does not work. It's like the stories are so basic and unimportant, and the dialogue is just kind of bad. So yeah, I'm curious we'll go more into episode 3 later in the show. So I'm curious to hear a full discussion on that later. But yeah, Thomas and I were not fans of the first 2 episodes at all.
Interesting.
We also weren't. I'm curious. What did you think of? Because it's been a while since you've been on the show. What did you think of Falcon and the Winter Soldier?
Oh, I thought it was really good. I like how it ended.
Yeah. So Thomas and Thomas and I weren't big fans of it.
Really?
Because of the ending. Just because, like, I thought we
Y'all
both
hating
thought
on everything.
Huh?
Y'all hating on everything.
I mean, not really. But just these 2 shows. We thought that the first 4 episodes were really, really great. Episode 4 is probably one of the best pieces of MCU, period. But it was such like a slow burn show, and they were setting up so much stuff and building up so many things that for the ending to just be so like fast paced and rushed, and like it really felt like they rushed through things and forgot about half the things that they set up. I just felt like the last 2 episodes were so messy and just a departure from what the rest of the show was. Also, if the whole message of the show is that the world is ready for a black Captain America, then why didn't you just make him Captain America from the start? Like, just be like, yep, world's ready for a black Captain America, so he's
Wait, you
Captain
mean
America.
Isaiah?
Let's just have a fun show.
Wait, you mean Isaiah?
No, I mean like with Sam Wilson, like the whole message at the end of the show was that like that the world is now ready for a black Captain America with Sam Wilson.
Mm-hmm.
So if that's the message, then why did the show contradict itself for the first 5 episodes?
Because he didn't want to be, right?
Right. So, but just going with the themes of the show, like it would have been much more, I think, powerful if it's just like, we don't have to do a whole story explaining why he can and can't be Captain America. It's just he's Captain America. Let's just tell a fun story with him as Captain America. So that just felt a little strange for me that they didn't do that. We still, I think, put it at like a 7 of 10. But yeah, the ending just definitely let us down. So yeah, no, I'm glad to have Atticus back because he disagrees with us a lot more, provides more conversation than Thomas and I just agreeing most of the time, except when it comes to Spider-Verse. But so this Knives Out 2 cast. So off of the 4 so far, Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Catherine Hahn, Janelle Monáe. Who do you think's the killer if it's one of those 4?
It's got to be Agatha. It's Catherine Hahn.
Yes, I agree.
I would love for it to I'd love for it to be Dave Bautista.
Just like a comedy role, and he's just like, hilarious.
Yeah. Him trying to hide that he killed someone the entire time. Like, just imagine Dave Bautista trying to hide that he killed someone. Just in real life, not even in a movie. Just imagine Dave Bautista flat out murdered someone and then was trying to hide it. Like, I'd pay to watch that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd pay to watch any actor try and hide that they murdered someone because they're actors. But anyways, my pick right now is I'm going to say Dave Bautista, but you guys are both going Agatha, Catherine Hahn. Yeah.
Yes.
Also, Catherine Hahn in Spider-Verse.
She is?
Dr. Olivia Octavius.
Oh, yeah.
So WandaVision was technically the second time she worked with Marvel.
Nice.
But I think right now we will take a quick ad break, and then we'll be back to talk about all of the trailers because there were 5 of them, and then we'll talk about Bad Batch and The Woman in the Window. Both of them were fine. We'll be back right after this break. Hey everyone, it is Trevor from Teens Talk Movies, and I am here to talk to you about Anchor. So, if you have not heard about Anchor, it is the easiest way to make a podcast. So first of all, it's free. Everybody loves free things. But sometimes free things aren't great, or there's a more expensive version. This is not the case with Anchor. It gives you everything you need. You have creation tools, you can record your show, you can edit your show right from a phone or a computer. There's literally no restrictions. And also, Anchor will distribute your podcast for you. So you don't have to do anything. You record, you press publish, and Anchor does the rest. Your podcast will be on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, so much more. It's really amazing. I use Anchor all the time. I'm using it right now. It has literally been my livelihood throughout the pandemic. I use it almost every day to record different podcasts or edit shows. It's really amazing. Also, you can make money from your podcast. You can support yourself with a podcast. You don't have to have any minimum listenership. You could have 1 listener and make money off of ads. It's, like I said, Anchor is no restrictions. It gives you everything you need, and it's everything you need to make a podcast all in one place. So, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. Now, back to the show. Welcome back to the show, everybody. And we are here talking about 5 trailers. We got lots of trailers this week. Some of them were a lot better than others. So let's get started. Let's kick off with the Forever Purdge. The Forever Purdge trailer. The 5th film in the Purge franchise.
Wow.
Owen Wilson isn't in this, is he? Is he Atticus?
No.
Oh, okay. Okay. I don't know if it picked up on audio, but Atticus just did a Owen Wilson wow, and I was confused. I was like, wait, did I miss Owen Wilson? But Atticus, the Owen Wilson himself, would you like to speak about this movie?
Wow. See, I don't really have like a. I mean, the trailer looked cool, but like I don't have like a strong opinion about it because I've never seen any of the Purge movies. So, yeah, I may not see this one, but I probably will.
So wait, so Josh Lucas is in this. He was also in like Ford v Ferrari. Does he look like a dime store at Ryan Gosling to anybody else? Josh Lucas.
A bit. I can see what you're thinking there.
Yeah.
He has a air of Ryan Gosling about him.
He's like, if they couldn't get Ryan Gosling for La La Land and wanted someone who couldn't sing, they'd get him. But La La Land is perfect as it is. So
yes.
Yeah, no, Forever Purdge. I mean, it's an interesting concept because this is what would happen if there were real purges. People would just be like, "Nah, I'm still doing it."
Yeah.
Like, this is just what would actually happen. So yeah, I mean, I like dystopian stuff. This was cool. Never seen another Purge film. Thomas, what about you?
See, I really didn't like this trailer because I really enjoyed the Purge films. I mean, the first one, the problem is they try and be too clever about it. The best one is Purge Anarchy because it's a solo story set in the Purge night. That is what this franchise should really be, and it's not what the first one was. That one went for a home invasion story, and it's not what this one looks like. So I just don't like them trying to do too much with the concept. I enjoy just the solo film in the Purge night because that to me is an interesting concept enough anyway. The first Purge as well was a brilliant film, which is also similar. It's a Purge film set on the Purge night, whereas this one, yeah, not a big fan of this trailer and what this film is looking to be.
Yeah, no, this is definitely seems to be a really big sprawling story. And I can't speak on my taste of the Purge films because, like I said, I haven't seen them. I believe Thomas is the only one on this panel to have seen them. But yeah, I've always been very interested by the Purge concept, and this is definitely taking it to a different level. So I don't know if the director has done anything else. Eduardo Valerio Gout. What a last name.
Cool name.
But yeah, he hasn't done anything else. So I mean, it's something that we might watch for the show. It really does depend on what else comes out that week, how much, because this is coming out right in the thick of the summer, July 2nd.
Yeah, I mean, I'll probably watch it anyway, but just whether we'll do a review for it anyway.
I might have to watch the first ones first, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're going to watch the Purge films, I would just skip the first one. It has no bearing on the story. It's pretty irrelevant.
Okay.
Got it.
It's good to know.
Yeah. So also that week, okay. So we'll probably do a review because it's only the Tomorrow War, the new Chris McKay, Chris Pratt action sci-fi movie on Prime. So that's the only other thing coming out that week. So we will probably be able to do a review. Also be nearing around the time when the finale of Loki will air.
Oh yes.
So yeah, no, I mean I thought this trailer was fine. I enjoyed the concept, but I'm also not that big into horror stuff. So I know I could honestly go either way with this. But moving on to the next trailer, which was Venom, Let There Be Carnage. I'll start off with this one. Was not a fan of this trailer. First Venom movie was fine. There's nothing special. This does not look... I'm not a fan of the Eddie Venom dynamic. and this film really seems to be focusing on that dynamic, which is not something I wanted. The Woody Harrelson, Cletus Cassidy, Carnage stuff, that could be fun. I just don't need more Venom stuff, which is unfortunate because that's the title character. But Atticus, what were your thoughts on the trailer for this? And did you want a sequel?
When I saw the first one, I actually thought it was pretty funny. I thought it was pretty cool, and then I had to sit and think about it and be like, yeah, that actually wasn't that great. And when I saw the end credits, I thought Woody Harrelson looked ridiculous, and I thought that it was a joke. I thought it was like, I don't know, it just was weird, and I did not like it at all. So I did not want a sequel, nor did I expect one. Well, actually, I did expect one because it made money. And yeah, this trailer, I think that it looks kind of cool. It looks more like a may lean towards like a more horror kind of area, but yeah, the dynamic between Eddie and Venom, it was weird in the first one, and it's probably going to be even weirder in this one. So
Right.
yeah, I don't know.
There's just not a lot to explore with it that they haven't already done. And yeah, they definitely do seem to be leaning into the R rating this time, which I think was a mistake with the first film trying to make it PG-13.
Yeah.
But Thomas, did you want a sequel, and what were your thoughts on this trailer?
Yeah, I mean, the roles have been reversed here because Venom, I haven't seen the first one, because I have no motivation really to see it. It's a film that's not got great reviews. People I've talked to hasn't really enjoyed it. So, but this trailer, I think if you look at this trailer compared to the first one, the first trailer for the first film, they're clearly going for a different feel here, which I think is fine. If the first one wasn't really that loved, maybe they did need a different sort of feel, maybe leaning into the more horror thing, as you say. Woody Harrelson, not a fan of it. This really here, he is being. I feel he's just being too silly. Him playing these sorts of roles can work sometimes, but here it's just again don't really need it, don't really care about it. If it comes out and it gets good reviews, I might watch it. I mean, we'll probably do a review for it.
We're doing a review, yeah.
Yeah, I certainly have no motivation really to see it though.
That's fair. I am looking forward to a lot of the motion capture and CG in it though, because Andy Serkis is directing. So we know that he's going to have Andy Serkis is directing the film.
Wow.
So we know that it's going to have like solid CG and visual effects, motion capture, which it didn't look bad in the trailer. We weren't obviously able to see a lot of it, and I was watching it on a tiny laptop screen, but it didn't look that bad. So that is one aspect of the film that I am looking forward to. But overall, not too hyped up for this.
Mm-hmm.
Next trailer though, we have Fatherhood, which is June 11th, new, I think, new Kevin Hart drama, I guess, which is weird to say those two words next to each other. But yeah, no, I mean it's a dramatic role for Kevin Hart. This looked passable. It didn't look like anything that we haven't already seen 50 times before.
Yeah, I was gonna say that as well.
Even just from Netflix alone. But I'm curious to see Kevin Hart's dramatic performance, because it does seem like he stepped more into these types of roles. But Thomas, what were your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean it looks like a Netflix film. There is, I mean, as you say, it's not doing anything new. I mean, Kevin Hart playing a dramatic role, it could be interesting to see. I'm not too excited for it though. I feel I could just guess the plot already from just the trailer and knowing what these kind of films are. So but as you said, it's fine. I will probably watch it, probably enjoy it, because I mean it's a happy film. That these kind of films are hard to actively dislike. So yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's something that we'll probably do a review of this summer. So, yeah, most things, just probably the rule of thumb with reviews is if we cover the trailer or something about the movie, we'll probably do a review. Um, so it's it didn't look like anything special. But Atticus, what were your thoughts?
I don't usually lean towards these kinds of movies, but I mean, yeah, like both of you said, I think it'd be interesting to see Kevin Hart in a dramatic role. So yeah, I guess I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, I mean, like you said, it'll be interesting. So he has done a dramatic thing before in 2017 with The Upside, uh, which I haven't seen, but I know some people liked it. It was his first dramatic role, co-starred with Bryan Cranston, Nicole Kidman, who's directed by Neil Berger. So it's not something that I was, this is not something that I'm like super hyped to see. But like Thomas said, it's going to be a happy film, so it's going to be like hard to actively dislike the film. But I don't see myself really enjoying it. And
Yeah.
never mind, The Upside was not received well, 43 on Rotten Tomatoes. So yeah, I mean I'm curious to see what Kevin Hart can do with drama. But moving on to the trailer for Stillwater, Matt Damon's new film from director Tom McCarthy, who, guys, Tom McCarthy's filmography, all over the place. So he wrote up the Pixar film and received a Best Original Screenplay nomination for it. Then he did the sports film $1 Million Arm. He wrote that. Then he directed Spotlight, which won Best Picture, and he got Best Original Screenplay for that. He was nominated for Best Director as well. And then he did Christopher Robin in Nutcracker and the Four Realms as far as screenplay. Then he directed Timmy Failure, the Disney Plus movie, and now he's doing this. So he goes back and forth between making Disney movies and like family movies, and then like Oscar contending dramas.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were your guys' thoughts on this trailer for Stillwater?
I mean,
oh, sorry.
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, yeah, it looks like a decent Matt Damon film. It looks. I mean, we've seen him do well with a film like Spotlight. So we've seen him do this kind of drama film, and it very well could be one of those Oscar contending films. Do you know when it releases?
July 30th, 2021.
July 30th.
Okay, yeah, so it could be in the contention for an Oscar. And Matt Damon obviously is a great actor in pretty much everything he's been in, so I'm sure he'll do well in this film. And yeah, it just looks like another drama that could be in Oscar contention, is really what I'll say about it.
Yeah, I mean, Matt Damon looks really good in it. It looks like a very transformative role for him. I could also see this going into like the makeup and hair potentially. Also, it's getting released to massive competition, so it's the same day. It gets released the same weekend as Jungle Cruise, The Green Knight, and 9 Days, which is a indie from Toronto International Film Festival last year that I'm really really looking forward to. There's like 10 Soul candidates that are like trying to get to Earth. This was released before Soul came out at Toronto International Film Festival last year. So it's like 10 candidates that are like trying to get like souls like to be put in humans, and then they have to be interviewed over the course of 10 days to determine if they're fit for Earth.
That's cool.
It's a really cool concept, I think. So anyways, I'm very much looking forward to the film. We got a lot of hype from TIFF. So, but like, yeah, that's going to be a fun weekend of movies between all four of those. But Atticus, what were your thoughts on this trailer for Stillwater?
For some reason, it reminded me of Jason Bourne. And I love those movies. I don't know why. I think it's just, yeah.
This is where he retired too.
Right, yeah. But yeah, it looks cool. I want to see it. Interested.
Yeah, I mean, like Tom McCarthy has proven he's a good director. Matt Damon looks good in this. It doesn't look like anything we haven't seen before, but it looks like it could be a decent film. I don't see this getting too much Oscar buzz, but like I said, Matt Damon. I mean, just looking at Matt Damon and Thomas McCarthy, like it always has to be in your consideration. So I'm definitely very curious to see how this film goes. But now we have this last trailer for The Green Knight. Which so far my top five movies of the year so far. I could totally see this breaking into this just off of the trailer. Like my top five of the year so far is The Father, Shiva Baby, Minari, Mitchell's vs. the Machines, and Nomadland. Those are my five right now. I could easily see this like at least getting up to the number 3 spot just off the trailer. I am obsessed with this trailer. Again, another A24 project. You guys know how much I love A24. I mean, Dev Patel looks great in it. Like it's A24. It's like a sprawling like fantasy epic. It's based off of a like 14th century Gaelic poem. Like, and Dev Patel. I'm so hyped for this film. Atticus, what are your thoughts?
Yeah, this trailer looked really cool. I was watching it and I was like, wait, this looks familiar and sounds familiar. Oh yeah, I read the book, or the poem, I guess, and it was like, yeah, it looked really cool. It had a vibe to it that I was like, oh yeah, this is gonna be a really good movie. I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
yeah, no, it gave off like the, like I could totally see this in Oscar contention. Like there could be two like genre type fantasy sci-fi films in contention this year between both this and Denis Villeneuve's Dune, coming out later this year. Both of them are like films that you wouldn't typically see in there, but like all three Lord of the Rings films got Best Picture nominations. Avatar got a Best Picture nomination, which was not deserving, but that's beside the point. Like the Academy, this gives me Lord of the Rings vibes. If you make a really good fantasy sci-fi movie, the Academy can't not vote for it. Especially with we're getting a set 10 nominees this year. We're guaranteed to have 10. But Thomas, what were your thoughts on The Green Knight?
Yes, I mean, fantasy films are often quite hit or miss for me, but here, as you say, this one looks like it will be a hit. I mean, you've got Dev Patel, great actor. It's by A24, so yeah, it's almost a surefire bet that it's going to be a hit. And yeah, just the whole aesthetic of this, just it makes me very excited for this film and what they're showing us. They're showing us a lot, but also not too much itself. They're sort of hitting the right balance between what to show and what to keep for the actual film itself. So yeah, definitely looking forward to this one.
I mean, cinematography, production design, visual effects all look gorgeous. Like the cinematography is, like brilliant. Like you could legitimately frame. I said this about Nomadland, which I'm still upset that didn't win Best Cinematography. You could literally take any image from this trailer and frame it. Like Mank cinematography was good. I liked Mank, but Josh Robert Thompson for Nomad, like I think that's his name. Anyways, Nomadland was anyways, you've heard me rant about this before. Nomadland should have won Best Cinematography. But yeah, no, Green Knight really does look like an incredible movie. So we're gonna play a fun game here, guys. How would you rank your anticipation of these 5 trailers that we talked about? Now that we have all seen the trailers. So Forever Purdge, Venom, Let There Be Carnage, Fatherhood, Stillwater, Green Knight. I will go first to give you guys time to think. For me, number 1, The Green Knight. Number 2, probably, I guess, Stillwater. Number 3, I would go Forever Purdge. Number 4, Venom, Let There Be Carnage. 5, Fatherhood.
I agree with that list.
Atticus, you're right
on. So going off of anticipation for the movie, or how good do you think the trailer was?
Anticipation for the movie.
Anticipation for the movie. That's what the list I would go for. Yeah.
Okay. So right. Green Knight,
so
Stillwater, Purge, Venom, and Fatherhood. Got it.
Yeah. Okay. So I'd go Green Knight. I mean, I dislike the trailer, but I still am a big fan of the Purge films, so I'm still anticipated for that film. So I put that second. Then Yeah, I guess it would be Stillwater, weirdly. Stillwater, then Fatherhood, then Venom. Maybe those two could switch around, but yeah.
Right, it's fair. But I think it is time to talk about The Bad Batch, episode 3. And still not a great batch. Still not a great batch. This episode was okay because, to me at least, contrary to the last two, it actually accomplished something. It took an actual effect on the story. Like episode 2, I really did not like.
Yeah, it
Just
was filler.
because,
I didn't like it.
like just like it was cool to see cut from the Clone Wars, and that was literally the entire appeal of the episode. There's this guy from the other thing that you liked, and now he's in this, so we did good job. Yeah, it accomplished nothing for the story. If you look at where they were at the start, where they were at the end, no difference. Yeah, this episode was fine. It did something for the story. I'm still not a fan of the screenplay or the character animation. It doesn't look good. But I thought that overall it was fine. I'm still looking forward to seeing Rex and Fennec Shan. But yeah, guys, do you remember the episode title? Thomas didn't even think there were episode titles last week. Do you guys remember the title of the episode?
No.
No, I really should know that you're going to ask me this every week.
Episode 3.
No. Thomas,
every week I know you're going to ask me this, but
I've been asking you the title of the episode every week since Falcon and the Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
You've only gotten one right. You know I do this every week.
Yeah.
Only one right?
I don't know it. I don't know it.
I ask it every single week. It's called Replacements. No, not the Keanu Reeves movie.
Okay. Next week I will remember to look at it.
No, you won't.
I will make that same promise. I will make that same promise. And
I'm gonna keep asking, and you guys are gonna keep forgetting. Well,
Yes.
we'll see. But yeah, I mean, we did. They did a thing. They went and did a thing. The bad guys did bad things, and they did good things because there was a coincidence.
It's a Star Wars formula.
Right, like it felt of like a very coincidental episode. Like, oh, they crashed, so now we got to do a thing to do it. Like, we've already seen this episode like twice in Clone Wars and Rebels. I think the thing that made Clone Wars work though is even if they did repeat some episode formats, it was with different characters every time, so it was like you saw a different situation, and that's the strength of Clone Wars, and why I still think that's the greatest piece of Star Wars, because you can explore all of the different corners of the galaxy during the time frame at that time, because there's so many between all the different clone troopers and all of the Jedi. You get to see what they are all doing during that frame of time, which is just it's really fun to see. And with the Bad Batch, you are just looking at the same characters like just over and over and over again, and if they aren't interesting, and literally the entire characters for all, well, I guess 4 members of the Bad Batch now is just a gimmick. It's so uncreative. Like, the tech guy's name is literally Tech.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
It's so uninspired. It's so just like bland and unoriginal. But Thomas, what were your thoughts on this episode?
So yeah, I agree. I mean, if I barely remember what even happens in the hero storyline, I mean, they land on a moon, or no, crash on the moon, something like that. You know, it's so just generic and dull, and we've seen it before, as you say. So the only real interesting bit of the episode was with the evil ones. I don't know his name. Evil ones story. Crosshair. Yeah, that's one. Yeah, that is another thing. I don't know any of the names in this series other than Omega. I mean, I just don't care about any of the characters, like all the stories that they're on. Just very disappointing. I mean, I wasn't expecting much anyway from what we've seen in the last episode. So
Yeah.
yeah. I mean,
And again, Thomas,
again,
don't let this deter you from watching Clone Wars,
no,
because Clone Wars
okay,
is
yeah,
an
but,
incredible show.
Clone Wars
Rebels
is
Yeah,
definitely an amazing.
But yeah, this just it didn't.
yeah. I don't know where they're going with the show, which is not a good thing. If we're already, well, you say 3, but then the first one was about 70 minutes, so probably more like 4 episodes in.
Right. I mean, there isn't really a conflict right now, other than we have this kid, but like.
Mm.
And then they need to get Crosshair back, and then you need to get his interpreter chip out.
Right, that's fair. So I guess is that the entire plot of the show?
Yeah.
Yes.
So I mean it's 16 episodes. The show is 16 episodes. We're only 3 episodes in. They could literally finish out the storyline in 3 episodes.
Yeah.
So I'm really rooting for the show because I love Clone Wars. I really love
Yes.
Rebels. I'm rooting for the show. I really want to like this show. It just hasn't shown me anything of note yet, I guess. Nothing like really like it just feels so uncreative. It just feels so phoned in. To me at least. But Atticus, I know you're a bigger fan of this. What was your thought on this episode?
I thought this episode was really, really good. I liked how the Crosshair's storyline, how that's going right now, and it's just like I don't know. I like the chemistry between Omega and Hunter, and how like he's looking out for her. I mean, the whole Bad Batch is looking out for her. I just thought it was like a sweet kind of storyline, you know?
So the interesting thing with the Omega character, she could become really interesting if the show goes on for multiple seasons. Because it does appear that Thomas and I are in the minority here. People are really liking the show. Like on Rotten Tomatoes, it's sitting at 92 right now, which to me feels insane. But people are liking the show. So it's an 88 on IMDb. I mean, it's probably going to get a season 2. Unless this was just meant to be like a one episode, or sorry, one season show. Its audience score is even higher. It's 94. So it's probably gonna get a season 2. The interesting thing with Omega is she has doubled aging. So if this goes on for like 3, so she's supposed to be 8 right now, right? If this goes on for like say 5 seasons, like which is, I mean, Rebels was 4 seasons, Clone Wars was 7, so say it's even 4, she could be 16 or 18 due to her doubled aging by the time this show ends. So we could go on this really unique journey with her and see her grow up in a way that we weren't able to see Ahsoka or Ezra grow up, because those stories took, like Clone Wars being 7 seasons, took place over the course of 3 years.
Yeah.
But if we space this show out and have it take place over a period of like 5 years, if it's 5 seasons or something like that, it could be a really interesting journey to I mean, and be able to grow up, you know, see this character grow up. But right now, she's just very annoying. I do agree with Atticus. I do like the dynamic. I think it needs to be explored more and also differentiated from the Mandalorian.
Oh yeah, I was drawing like just Mandalorian. I'm like, this is a little too familiar.
Right. I mean, if you break it down, it's a group of mercenaries takes care of a child who is probably force sensitive, and even if not very, very important, that the Empire wants, and then they go around the galaxy running away from the Empire and trying to like keep the child safe.
Yeah, I mean, except for this one, you don't even have a clear goal. Like, at least Mandalorian, although I say it is directionless, and I still stand by that point, there is still always, they are trying to get Grogu to someone. Whereas here, they're not really trying to get Omega anywhere. They're just sort of protecting her from not very established threat.
there was no reason for them to like leave the moon.
Exactly.
Like there's really no reason for them to be doing. Like there was nothing stopping them from just like flying up and going to another part of a moon. Like I always think it's funny in Star Wars how like planets are massive and there's a lot of planets, but like with Coruscant we only see like one city.
Yeah.
Like planets are huge. Like you could easily like people are able to stay hidden on Earth for their entire lifetime. So like it would be so easy to just go to another with a spaceship, just go up another part of the planet. Like there's so without a goal of trying to get anywhere, you're totally right, Thomas. There isn't really I want a direction for the show. Other than just for being hunted. Because that's able to be pulled off really well. Like those who wish me dead pulls that concept off really well, but it's also a 1 hour 40-minute movie, not a 16 episode TV show with really bad dialogue. But overall, Atticus, what would you give this episode out of 10?
Out of 10, I'd say I'd give it an 8.
8, Thomas?
Say maybe I'll go with 5.
5. Yeah, I'm sitting right about a 5 as well. Which I think means that our average, our Teen Stock Movies rating of this episode is a 6. By averages. Yeah. So now let's move on to The Woman in the Window. Atticus, you didn't see this movie. So do you want to drop out, or do you want to stay in for?
Yeah, I'll probably drop out.
All right, just to make sure there's no spoilers.
Yeah, because I do want to see it still.
Yeah, for sure. I do think that you would like this movie. I really do. But so I think it looks really cool. All for Atticus. So we will see Atticus next week, and we'll be talking movie news with all three of us again, as well as Army of the Dead, Those Who Wish Me Dead, and Bad Batch Episode 4. So Atticus, anything you'd like to say to the people before you leave?
No.
Okay. All right. Well,
no parting words of wisdom. Sorry.
See you later, Atticus.
See you guys. Bye.
Bye.
All right, Thomas. Now that he's gone, that jerk. No, I'm just kidding. So let's talk about Woman in the Window.
Yes.
This was a movie.
Yep.
Someone made it. Some of the people who made it were really good. Others were not. Fun fact, so Tracy Letts, the guy who wrote the screenplay for this movie, plays the dad in Lady Bird.
Oh, okay.
That's him, yeah. He did one of those things a lot better than the other.
Yeah, exactly. Stick to acting.
Yeah. Definitely stick to acting. Yeah, I mean, so this film was directed by Joe Wright. As we said, written by Tracy Letts. It stars Amy Adams, Julianne Moore, Gary Oldman, Wyatt Russell, Jennifer Jason Leigh, Brian Tyree Henry, Anthony Mackie. It's a stacked cast.
Yep.
There's a lot of really good actors in this movie, and a lot of them are very good in this movie, I think. I thought that I thought Amy Adams was really good in it. I thought that Gary Oldman, even in his very minimal time, was very good in it. Wyatt Russell was really good in it.
Yeah, he was. Yeah.
I'm trying to stay positive for as long as I can.
Yeah.
I thought that Jennifer Jason Leigh and Julianne Moore were really good. I actually thought Julianne Moore was really, really good. On our on my Oscars list, I might debate putting her in supporting actress. It would be over Charlene Swanky in Nomadland. so I don't know if I want to do. Stuff to think.
Yeah.
But yeah. Speaking of, we're doing the Teen Stock Movie Awards, and we'll be doing our update halfway through the year. So at the end of June, June 31st, or whatever episode falls around that time, we will be doing our midway point, where we're sitting with our Teen Stock Movie Awards halfway through the year. Which is interesting because we're covering all 2021 stuff. So like stuff like Nomadland and Judas and the Black Messiah and Minari will all be in there.
Yeah.
Which is The Father. Very, very going to be very, very interesting. But yeah, so The Woman in the Window, cinematography, really, really great. The editing was really, really good. Visual effects were a bit lackluster, I thought.
Yeah, I thought actually there was the one scene with a car in like the snow, but it's behind the door. That looked really bad. Like,
it did look really bad. And with the blood, where obviously this is all spoilers. Spoilers. You guys know our reviews are always spoilers. Julianne Moore's character when she is killed, that looked really bad. Like there were parts. This movie was trying to be like a sophisticated film, but there were a lot of times where it gave off like 70s slasher movie vibes.
Yeah.
Which really goes to the problem that I have with this film. It's so messy. It's so unbalanced. Yeah. It's all over the place. Positive. Production design, phenomenal. It's one of my favorite production designs of the year so far, if I'm being quite honest.
Yeah.
It's both haunting and homey at the same time, which is really impressive to pull off.
Yeah.
I think on my list I put it number 2, just behind The Father. And One Night in Miami I thought was also really good production design wise. But yeah, the score was really good, I thought. But you're right, the visual effects weren't great.
Okay.
You not agree on score?
I just thought I thought it was fine. It worked as a score. I just didn't think it was anything special by any means.
That's fair. But yeah, I mean, there were a lot of, I thought, good things about this movie. The bad thing was the story.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah. So Thomas, would you like to explain your thoughts on this? That I think we both agree on.
Yeah. So there's just a story. It's so badly paced is one thing, and the characters. So, for example, the final twist with spoilers, the kid being the murderer guy.
It's laughable.
Yeah. I mean, he was a nice guy about 20 minutes ago, and then suddenly he's an evil killer, which doesn't make any sense and doesn't work as a twist, which is what this film, it just derails the whole story itself. And the story in general, there's not much story at all, really. She meets the woman, she sees the woman be killed, then she's crazy for about an hour and a half. And then it's the end twist. So, and that's the story. I can explain it within 10 seconds. So that's never really a good thing.
So the thing with the twist is that twists should have setup. Like it isn't a twist if it's like if I were to say like if Captain or say I don't know Thor just all of a sudden started killing people with no explanation.
Yeah.
In the Marvel films, it wouldn't work because like it isn't like cool like oh I didn't see that coming. If the kid was like hinted that he had problems before and they did that in a really cool way where like you don't pick up on it and then on rewatch you're able to figure out oh we should have seen this the whole time. Like for instance, spoilers for Promising Young Woman, but Bo Burnham's character. There are so many hints throughout that movie. Like Carey Mulligan's character Cassie at one point even says he's not that good of a guy, Dad. Like we were told throughout the entire film that he wasn't that good of a person, but we were still endeared to him. So then the twist worked. So that's how you do a twist. Like this is not how you do a twist. But carry on. Sorry.
No. So yeah, I think I said my point. There's the story. It's a weird balance because it's on the one hand, it's fairly convoluted with what happens in the end and the fact that he's a killer. But on the other hand, not much happens. So yeah, it's just there's no story to it really, and the story that we do get is not very compelling at all. I'd say like the trailer was good for this film,
Yes.
and it's severely disappointing in my
Yeah.
opinion.
I mean, you're totally right about the pacing. Like, it goes from like a character
Yeah.
study for like a lot of the movie
To a slasher film.
to a slasher film, and like it was so predictable too. Like we knew that the roof thing was going to like like they pointed to the roof thing from like a mile away.
Yeah.
Like they showed us here's exactly how the movie is going to end. Enjoy. I mean, it's yeah, like the last 20 minutes for being the climax of the film feels tacked on just because of how messy the story is. Also, so this film feels convoluted. I get that people could say, well, it's an unreliable narrator. How you do is an unreliable narrator is first you have to endear us to the character, so that way when they're going through all of this stuff and we don't know what's real and what isn't, we're going through it with them and we sympathize with them rather than just being confused. Like, to do an unreliable narrator, you have to be with the character.
Yeah.
Because our viewpoint of this film, how we saw this film, was like through the viewpoint of like the detective or like Wyatt Russell's neighbor character who didn't understand what was going on because she was acting really, really weird, which doesn't work because then we don't sympathize with the main character, Amy Adams Anna. I mean, Amy Adams does everything in her power to save this movie. She's really good at it.
Yeah.
But it's hard to sympathize with the main character when we aren't with the main character. And we're like, if this movie were to, it would be very, very bleak. Like I was telling Thomas, like Charlie Kaufman style bleak.
Yeah.
But if this movie were to just be, we're watching this from the outside of this person just fall apart, and we end with her realizing that it was all in her head, and that she realized she remembers about her family, and then we finish out with her making the suicide video about her last will and testament, and then it's credits.
Yeah.
Depressing film, but that could actually, like, I feel like that film works.
Yeah. I mean, there would still be problems. It still wouldn't be a perfect film, but I think it would work better than it does with ending that feels like it should change the whole thing, but doesn't. It just ends up feeling tacked on, as you say.
Like I said, it's the climax of the film, but it doesn't feel like it belongs.
No.
Because it just feels so out of place with the rest of the film.
Yeah.
And
it feels like a twist just to have a twist in it. Because, it's a film like this, so it needs to have a twist. It doesn't necessarily. Like, the fact that none of it was real, or only parts of it, that works as a twist in itself. So you don't need to add on another twist just to make it so that, to fill this genre more.
Like, that's a twist, and, like, it's a depressing movie, but it's like, for instance, like, with an unreliable narrator story, something like The Father, where you're seeing it, but with that film, you're seeing it through his eyes, so you sympathize with the character. Like, if you were to watch, I know, Thomas, you haven't seen it, so I won't get into spoilers.
Yeah.
But, like, if you were to see the entire film from, like, Olivia Colman's eyes, watching it, then it wouldn't really make a lot of sense and it wouldn't work, because then you're just watching this, like you'd have to commit to a completely different type of film. And this movie, if it was going to do that, like, this could have been interesting if maybe we follow Wyatt Russell's character, and he has this, like, I guess he was like his land or his property owner, and he's watching her, like, just go insane basically, and do, like, there's multiple ways where this film could have worked, and it just all falls short. And I don't want to come off too negative, because I really liked everything about this movie except the story, which is granted a major part of the film. So yeah, what would be your final, like, one sentence review of the film, putting you on the spot?
Okay. Wants to be a drama, that is really a not crappy, but yeah, a crappy thriller. It's
it's a B horror thriller movie trying to act like a sophisticated Hitchcock film.
Yeah.
Is really what it is. Though the cast does save it in a way.
Yeah, to some extent.
To some extent, if this movie didn't have as good of a cast and as good of technicals as it did, it would have been unwatchable.
Yeah.
So I really think that is a testament to that part of the film. But what is your final rating of The Woman in the Window?
I'm gonna give it a 3, probably.
A 3. Wow, harsh.
Yeah.
I definitely like the film a bit more. I'm sitting at about a 6 out of 10. The story isn't good, but I feel very positively about pretty much everything else in the film. So obviously the story is a major part of the film, but I feel like it's only worth 4 points to knock it. And not much more. But this film, I'm leaning right, like I'm right in the middle. I don't know if I lean completely positive. I maybe even more of like a 5.5 of 10. I don't know if I'm leaning completely positive. I don't know if I'm completely negative either. Because the other thing is the film was entertaining, at least to me. Even with it being convoluted, it kept my interest. Like I wasn't bored by the movie.
No, but I think it's hard to make. It's very hard to make a thriller boring. But
that's fair. That's actually really fair. But yeah, so overall, we weren't massive fans of the film. I did like it a bit more though. But Thomas, it is the end of the show. I'm really looking forward to next week with Army of the Dead, Those Who Wish Me Dead, and maybe Bad Batch will get better. I hope so. But that is it for today's show. Thank you guys so much for listening to the show. You can check me out on Letterboxd, Trevor Matson there, and we will see you guys next week. Stay safe, everybody. Thank you for listening, and goodbye.
Bye.